Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are recapping Real Housewives of Orange County, season 18, episode 17, season finale, titled Unfinished Business. So we start out with Emily, Gina, Jenn, and Shannon, and they all go axe throwing together. Jenn shows up with her engagement ring. So she got engaged after London. Her and Ryan went to the Bahamas and he proposed to her on the beach. Her ring is gorgeous.
Just
The ladies are happy for her. Then we see that Alexis is going to throw an engagement party for her.
think that they were that close, but I guess this was a way for Alexis to be on the show because really only Tamra was filming with her at this point, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, Heather
She was like, let's
too.
make a friendship.
Right. I don't think they
Like
were
it's
that
airtime.
close. I don't think they were that close.
Still nice though. Well, and
Yeah,
it was also a way to get John Jansen on Shannon's ex
that's right.
on the show.
And they're all supposed to be wearing tacky bridesmaids dresses. Alexis comes up with that idea. Alexis goes over to Tamra's house and she brings Clorox wipes when she walks in so that she can clean up all the shit from the London trip, which is just not necessary. It just wasn't
I didn't even
necessary.
get it at first. She's like, we're to clean up all the shit we're going to talk about your trip.
Yeah,
I didn't really get it at first, but
it was a lame attempt.
it was a very
So Alexis talks about how she and John were shopping for rings, and Tamara is telling her all about the text messages and the private investigator about Ryan that Shannon showed Jenn. And Alexis is saying she's doing the same thing she did to John, which is really not the case, but okay, if that's
right,
what you want to think.
right.
Then we see Jen is talking to her son Dawson, and he has admitted that, she has done better because she said, I've done a little bit better trying to like let the reins go. But I mean, I think it's because he moved out, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, when they're not under your roof, it's a little bit
yeah,
easier to not hyper
exactly.
focus on things.
Exactly. I wish that was an option for me sometimes.
My God, you have no idea. I'm counting down the days, the
I do
months until
actually.
June.
I actually do. And he's talking about how he's maybe interested in going into the Marines because he doesn't really like school. He's not really a student. And listen, I mean, I get it that she would be worried for him, but
Sure, of course. Every
you know
every
what?
parent would feel that way,
It is a
unless they're a
structure,
military family and,
right? It
or
is a structure for someone who doesn't have a lot of direction.
sure.
And if they're willing to do it, I say encourage it,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I mean, that's a brave decision to make.
Yeah, I
So God
agree.
bless him for it.
I agree. And then we see Heather's talking to her son, Nikki, and she knows he didn't want to go to college,
I
but
didn't realize he didn't go to college, or maybe
he,
he did and didn't
he
like
is.
looking back.
I think he still is going to college, to be honest with you.
Okay,
I mean,
it's just he doesn't love it.
he was going to UCLA. I don't know. I mean, that's where he started. And then he got his real estate license and then he sold his first house. But I don't know that he stopped going to college. She never really made that clear.
Right.
But she is encouraging him, because he's getting life skills and, to figure it out. He's thinking about, going abroad. And, if you have that kind of money, like, listen, I would go abroad too.
Absolutely.
And he actually, kind of humbly thanks her for, funding his adventures,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's not like he's taking it, for granted, which I kind of did like because I feel like,
Listen, there's one thing you can say about Heather and Terry Dubrow. They're very good parents.
mm-hmm.
They have very responsible, nice kids. They really do.
They
They've raised
yeah,
they've raised very good contributing members of society,
I agree.
which is always the goal.
At least that's how it appears.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean,
She is all about the show, but
yeah, we
yeah.
don't know any differently, so we'll assume that that's true because
Yeah,
that's
you're
what we
right.
see, right?
Yep, you're right.
And then we see it was like the wrap up with the kids because then we see Tamara's talking to her daughter Sophia,
Who's
and
very talented.
yep, she's playing a song that she wrote, sang,
Yeah.
and produced. And, Tamara encourages her to go after her dreams, which I think is awesome. I
Yeah.
think that she should.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Yes. Then Katie and Kaylee are talking about her name change and all the paperwork shows up. So it's official that she's now a Gianella.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis and Gina are kind of wrapping it up with the dogs.
I feel like they really, truly love each other. Like, I really hope they get their situation figured out.
I do too. I do too.
And, I just want to bring this up because I think Gina said it in her confessional in the beginning of the show. Like, the difference between Tamra and Shannon with that whole her pushing Travis down the stairs was that Shannon did know, but she knew also that it was a fake story, so she didn't bring it up.
She knew not to give it light. Right. Right. And she is working on herself. And Shannon admitted to it. She admitted it to her, which Tamra is not working on herself and doesn't think what she does is a problem.
Nope.
And then, Travis, they're talking about she has been going through this a long time with his ex-wife and how toxic the relationship is. And Travis says that, listen, he's there and he's there supporting her, but he's not happy about it. And she asks, maybe we should go to therapy. And he says yes, which I think is good. I think that definitely will help. I definitely think that will help them.
I agree. I think that will definitely help.
Then we see Vicky goes over to Shannon's house and they're getting ready for the party. And just Vicky cracks me up every time she walks in a room. She really does.
She really does.
Emily comes out wearing the white dress that she wore for her wedding and asks Shane if she should wear it for the tacky bridesmaid's dress, to the party. And Shane says, well, that's the dress you wore when we got married. And she's like, yeah, I know. It's 15 years old. He goes, well, I still have your old bouquet. And he goes and gets it.
So funny.
It was hysterical.
My gosh, that was so funny.
It was. He's like, it's kind of like our marriage kind of dried and lost its color. It's got no life left in it. I mean, he was totally joking.
Yeah.
But I like that they have that little banter.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we see next Katie and Matt arrive at the party and Alexis is there.
Felt like Katie understood the assignment. I feel like Heather understood the assignment. Nobody else was wearing a tacky dress.
I mean,
Alexis was definitely not wearing a tacky dress.
No, she was
I guess
not.
Emily thought hers was tacky because it was her wedding dress, which kind of. Nobody else was really wearing a tacky,
right. I agree.
Dress.
I totally agree. Heather got the assignment and Katie with the blue.
Yeah.
Yes. I completely agree with you. Even Shannon didn't get it.
No. Or Vicky. I mean,
no.
Vicky's was very vintage with like early knees, like 90210, like with the frills and the floral. But so I guess Vicky kind of. But it wasn't tacky. It was still a nice dress.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like a throwback.
Right. And then we see Shannon getting in the van with Vicky, and she's trying not to get her dress wrinkled because it's silk, and she's like a board. I mean, the things that this woman does.
That's how the season started, remember? She ended the season how she started it.
She's just so funny. And Vicky's like, it's going to get wrinkled. Who cares? Like, you're going to hurt yourself. She's like, no, it's good for my core.
Was she strengthening her core? Was she have her abs tight the whole time? My God.
I think it's so funny.
Emily was trashed real early on.
I don't like when she gets like that, especially so early. Her limit is 2.
I feel like she would be so fucking fun to hang out with.
Saying she wouldn't be fun to hang out with, but I mean, if you're doing a show and you kind of got to keep it together a little bit.
You got to keep it together.
I mean, listen, I still love Emily. I would still, as a matter of fact, I'm drinking an espresso martini right now in honor of Emily.
Emily, good.
Yes,
good for you.
This is in honor of Emily, but I think 2 should be her limit.
Yeah.
Because I think once she hits 3, it goes awry.
Yeah, she falls in the bushes.
Yes, she does.
She put that picture up today of her bent over and Gina trying to catch her, and she wrote my Christmas card this year.
I'll be honest with you. I think if I had 3 espresso martinis, I would have been the same way.
I think you would. I
mean, I fall all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But her trying to hoist Gina up over the fence, oh my God. And Gina wasn't drinking, so Gina was participating stone cold sober.
Yeah.
Which I kind of love.
I do too. I
mean,
too.
That's what friends do, right?
Did you see the reunion looks? Gina has a very short dress, but let me tell you something. She is fit. Gina is fit. Like next to Jenn, I think she has really it's a revenge body that she didn't need to get, but she's got it.
Yeah, I did not see the reunion looks, and if I did, I don't remember them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I mean, I have my favorites as always. Heather's boring as hell again, but whatever.
Well, listen, Heather doesn't like to be a standout. She just likes to be classic
Right.
and
And it is classic what she's wearing.
demure.
Yeah.
Like that's her
And
thing.
Shannon's very modest also, but I was thinking about it, like, but I think she's either nearing 60 or is she nearing
Shannon?
60? Yeah.
I
No, it
think
was her 60th
yeah,
birthday,
she just
right?
turned 60.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was very appropriate, I thought. Very appropriate.
Right. No, I listen, how old is Heather? She's got to be up there too.
I would
Late
imagine, yeah.
late 50s, right?
Yeah.
So, what's next? So, then Joe comes in and Alexis said she met Joe 12 years ago.
Oh my God, it was so nice to see Joe. She looks fantastic.
Yes, it was nice to see her. And she's like, she knows these women better than me. Emily said, so then Heather shows up with the tacky dress, and Emily said it was Alexis's idea to do the tacky dress, and she didn't even wear one, which is very
Right.
true. It
It's
is very true.
Very true.
But she also said in her confessional, which I thought was great, Emily in her confessional said, listen, I would have thought that if anyone could have pulled off the tacky, it would have been Alexis.
Exactly.
Love that.
Yep.
So Heather and Emily go inside to get a drink, and they walk by Katie and her husband and Alexis, and neither one of them say anything. Now, this is what I thought was a little weird. So Heather and Emily go inside to get the drink, and they are like, that's weird. She just snubbed me. And then outside, they're both saying the same thing. They snubbed
They were
each other.
both saying the same thing.
I'm like, well, you did it to each other. Like, you
Yep.
both walked past each other, so you can't be blaming the other one.
No, they both did the same thing and said the same thing about the situation.
Yes, which I thought was interesting. Emily says, well, I'll have to talk to her later anyway, meaning Alexis, and Katie about what she said about her boys when she was babysitting. Oh, Alexis says, I didn't expect this to start so soon when they were outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Vicky and Shannon show up, and by the time they get there, Emily is already trashed. And Vicky says hi to Katie and doesn't say anything to Tamra, which is fine.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't either.
no, and I like that Tamra noted it too. I'm glad that she noted it. Jen's mom and dad are there. And then Jenn and Ryan show up. Ryan in his purple or fuchsia suit that he had his Taylor from Amazon.
Yes.
I was like, that's great.
That's
great.
awesome.
I thought
Buy
she
it on
looked
Amazon and then spend $100 to have it
Taylor. Yeah. I thought she looked adorable with her little,
Pink.
tacky. She actually got the assignment too.
She did. But it wasn't, but it still looked cute. It looked cute.
It did look cute. It did look cute. What else? So we also see that Ryan knows Joe because she used to work for him when he worked at Countrywide Home Loans.
Which is where she worked when she was on the show.
Right.
With Slade.
How interesting is that? Right? And then we see Ryan talking to his friend Matt Boyer, and Ryan says to Matt, did you see Joe? And he's like, yeah, I don't think she recognizes me. And Ryan's like, what do you mean? I'm sure. And no, Matt's like, no, she came up to me and said, I don't think Ryan will recognize me, meaning she didn't even recognize him. Like she said that to Matt.
That's funny.
Yeah. And I love that we got a sighting of the money launderer, right?
I mean,
classic.
Do you know that people are saying that this is allegedly, people, so don't come for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people online basically saying that the baseball player was the one doing the gambling and it wasn't his interpreter.
Well, that's all my kids are saying too. Everyone's saying that the interpreter took the fall for him.
Right.
So that he could keep playing. He's like, first of all, he's freakishly good.
Yep.
Andrew was saying he's aggravated with him the way he structured his deal because he's that good. So he structured his deal so he only makes $1 million a year until his last year, and then he gets $69 million, so that they can stack up his team with good players. So he's not the only high-paid one. What does that tell you?
Yeah, why would he do that?
I just told you why.
I'm trying to see the angle, though.
The angle is so you can not have your salary take up the whole budget.
Okay. So they can spend more money on other good players so they can stack the team. Got it.
So they can stack the team.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So your kids are saying that too. This is all
Absolutely.
allegedly, people. Allegedly.
Absolutely.
But when I read that, I was like, that never even crossed my mind. However, it does make sense if people are getting immunity.
Yes.
Like, he's probably blaming this guy so he doesn't get caught, because look at what happened to Pete Rose.
Well, right. And honestly, I'm sure he had a good attorney. The Dodgers don't want to lose him. Baseball doesn't want to lose this guy.
They just won the World Series.
Right. They do not want to lose this guy. And this was well before that. He's the guy. So I believe it. I totally believe it.
I'm tending to believe it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes sense though.
No, it does. I mean, listen, it just makes sense. I was talking about this with somebody today I was talking about it with my therapist, to be quite honest with you. We were talking about, and I don't know how it came up, how crazy the world is today. And she was saying that, she's always been able to predict, who was going to win the election. And right now, for the first time ever, by the time this hits, hopefully we'll know, but we may not even know.
We better know.
We
better know.
This is going to go out on Wednesday. No, we might not know. Maybe we might not know on Wednesday. I bet you we won't. But anyway.
Well, okay. I'll shut up.
But yeah, I know. But this is what goes on in this world. The reason we don't know is because, one, we can't trust the polls. And two, we can't trust the process. We can't trust the system. And the whole baseball thing is just yet another example of it, because that's not the only thing. It happens everywhere, in every facet
of life.
Last
year, the NFL is like the new reality TV. It really is. They're putting, the whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing aside, but, who's playing when, who's playing who. It's just, what players are playing when, what teams are playing other teams when. It's all very orchestrated now.
Absolutely, it is.
I have no trust in anything or anyone.
I totally agree. And did you see what happened with Jason Kelce on Saturday at the Penn State game?
No.
One of the Penn State student was taunting him and saying a homophobic slur about his brother, and he grabbed his cell phone. Jason grabbed the guy's cell phone and threw it to the ground, and then used the same homophobic slur back to him. Yeah.
Yikes.
That's all over the place.
I did not see that. I'm surprised Eric didn't mention it.
Yeah.
He's retired now, Jason, right?
Yes, he's doing, he's got his podcast, and he's doing, he's announcing.
Right, but he's retired from the NFL. I'm sorry. Yikes.
But listen, that's not a good look. Someone saying something about your brother, get over it.
Yeah.
And they're college students, they're dumb to begin with.
Yeah, you kind of have to be the bigger person, even though I struggle with that myself. But if you're a public figure, you certainly have to.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. So then what happens? So Ryan's...
Emily starts talking to Katie about...
Yeah, hold on. Go ahead.
About the babysitting situation. How about when they flashed back to Katie's son?
Oh my God. Yes, exactly.
Was Heather mean again for the 100th time? How old is this kid?
6. 9. No, 6. He's 6.
Yeah, Emily's boys are 9.
Yeah, Emily's boys are 9. Yep, I have that written down.
Spoke volumes to me. Listen, I've said it before when this first came out. I don't doubt for a second that Emily has referred to Heather as bossy in front of her kids. But Heather is bossy. I don't think she'd say Heather's a bitch. I don't even think she'd say Heather's mean. Shane and Emily don't strike me as the type of parents who talk like that in front of their kids.
No.
So when they flashed back to her son talking like that, Katie's son talking like that, I'm like, this really leads you to believe that Katie's daughter prompted that entire conversation and then lied and said it was Emily's kids who did.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%. That's why the producers put it in, because we didn't see that scene until then.
No, we didn't. Right. We did not see that scene until then. And Katie was probably hoping that they weren't going to show it. But joke's on you, Katie. They're going to show everything to, fit their narrative of how they want you portrayed this season.
Yeah, he said it for the millionth time. And Katie just keeps eating. And she says, oh.
Yep. Heather again hijacked that whole conversation. Emily couldn't even get her point out.
It's true. And that's what she does, though. That's exactly what she does.
Yeah, she does.
So Katie says it was like a mother and daughter moment, and we were giggling about it. And Heather's standing there. She's giggling about me being mean. Katie says yes. And Heather says, I'm done with this. And Katie said, well, I'm done with you. always sticking your finger in my face. Heather says, it's because you're boring and you lied. Katie says, no, you lied. You swore on your children's lives. Like, that was, I don't
I
know.
do think that Katie got the best of Heather in that situation.
Yeah, she did. She did.
But I also think that Katie's daughter did prompt that conversation. I think she was at fault.
I think so too. And I also think that maybe Katie doesn't even realize that she does it in front of her children.
Right. Of course.
Because, she just speaks freely,
Yeah. But
Heather
Katie did at least apologize, I think, to Emily. She said, like,
she did.
I'll have to talk to Kylie and,
Yes, she did.
So as far as, although it doesn't seem like in the on social media, Emily's a big fan of Katie right now. So I don't know where they stand after the reunion. I really can't wait for this reunion. As soon as I heard Emily call Alexis the lid to John's trash can, I was like, let's go.
That was great. And when I heard Shannon yell about the lawsuit and she won.
Yes.
I mean, that's all we needed to hear. I was like, thank goodness you won.
Yep. Yeah.
But the sad thing is, how much did it cost her to win? She should actually have sued for her lawyer's fees.
I totally agree.
Hopefully she did.
I totally agree.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So Katie and Kaylee are in their confessional, and Kaylee's saying, like, why would I make that up? And Katie's like, you wouldn't. Which, again, why is Kaylee getting a confessional? Why is Shannon's ex in a confessional? Why is Kaylee in a confessional?
I totally agree.
These people should not be in confessionals. Yes.
Yeah,
Kylie. I'm calling her
totally
Kaylee.
Agree.
Kylie. Yeah, Kylie. She shouldn't have been in a confessional.
But she clearly, like I said before, we've said it before, she clearly wanted to be on this show.
Yes, definitely. And then we see Tamra goes over and says to Jenn, I'm happy for you. I wish we would have been able to meet up and I would have shown you all the texts. And Jenn's like, listen, I'm not really interested in it. It doesn't even matter. Really, it doesn't matter. And I'm glad she said that.
Me too. I thought Jenn handled Tamra so well this season. I think last season it was a little hard for her because she didn't see it coming. But this season it seemed like she was like, okay. Like she had her.
She was the new girl last season too, so she didn't really have any allies. Like Tamra was supposed to be her ally.
Nice. She went in thinking she was going to be the closest with her.
Right. And then she's taking her out every chance she gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the ladies are all together trying to get a picture, and Tamra walks up and says, I can't believe you two are in the same room together. And your paths haven't crossed, referring to Alexis and Shannon. Why? Like, why did you have to say that?
That was Emily, right?
No, that was Tamra.
Tamra said
that.
Tamra said it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that was Tamra.
Wow. I mean, there's obvious reasons why she would say it.
Yeah. And Shannon said that she's done with Tamra. She had to leave London early because of all her antics, and she walked out of the party. That's when she walked out of the party. And she's standing there next to Matt, Katie's husband.
This was not good.
No, I felt bad. Listen, I felt bad for Matt in this situation, but you know what? Shannon was in the middle of it, and
real quick, did you hear when Shannon walked away? Alexis said, "Have another drink."
Oh no, but that doesn't surprise me.
I know. All right,
that doesn't surprise. No, that doesn't surprise me because she walked out because they were trying to get the picture, and then and Tamra has to make that comment. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you made me leave London early. Like, I'm done with you. I'm done. And she's out there in like the doorway, and she says to Matt, like, I say it all the time. I leave, I say I'm done, and then I go back. Like this time, I'm really done. And he's just kind of supporting her. He's like, well, maybe this should be it for you. Maybe you should just leave. And then she's like, I'm really sad. You don't even know me.
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna blame this on alcohol because I think she's gotten that enough.
No, I don't think it had anything to do with alcohol.
I think she just misread what he was saying. I mean, I do think that he had a point, and he was like, if this is upsetting you so much that you're at this point and
right.
so uncomfortable and unhappy, why do you keep doing it?
Right.
Right. He had a point.
Right. No, he absolutely had a point, and there was no malice intent with it, and she just took it the wrong way. And she
misread it.
I think it was because she was so upset And so, like, just enough already with Tamra. Like, if Tamra hadn't said anything, this would have never happened. It was just her poking the bear one last time.
Exactly.
And by the way, at that point, now that she has that extra fuel to put on the fire when it does come to the reunion, because she now saw the way he treated Matt.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
know.
sure Shannon apologized. I'm sure when she saw it back, I'm sure she apologized. I'm sure she owned it because that's what she does.
Yes, I agree. I'm hoping that by the time the reunion was filmed, they had spoken about it and she had apologized to him, and we're all in a good place now. Yeah. What was that scarf on Shannon's ex? He's really rocking the scarf look. He was wearing it on Watch What Happens Live too.
Oh, I didn't watch him. Just now, just this, he was just on?
No, when
What a while
Alexis
back.
was on.
Yeah. It's probably because he's got an old neck. That's what old people
Well,
try.
you're absolutely right.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That is why.
That's what old people do to cover up their neck.
Yeah.
They put on a scarf.
Yeah. That's right.
So then Emily goes to get Shannon and brings her back. In the meantime, Tamara and Eddie leave, which is good. They realize that Johnny J is pulling up, and Shannon says to Katie, your husband said something to me that was very inappropriate. We'll talk about it later. And Katie was like, okay. And then Shannon says she didn't take my man, she took my problem, and she can have him. And then Emily and Gina decide to climb over the cement wall so that they can see Johnny J. Shannon is sitting there laughing with Katie. The two of them are cracking up hysterically, which I was glad to see.
How could you not?
I was glad to see that she was laughing. Like, she's like, enough already. And then we see 3 weeks later, after filming wraps, the headline comes out that Ryan is being accused of laundering money through Vegas, and cameras go back up.
Tamra goes to lunch with her FBI hat on.
Yes, Tamra, she's such a bitch. Ryan apologizes to Jenn and says he's sorry that, she has to go through this. And I did think it was a little odd, though, that he brought the Lord's name into it.
Me too.
The Lord has a plan. I mean, I believe the Lord does have a plan, but I don't know that would have been where I said it. Just
yeah, illness, sickness, certain things in your life. If you want to say, well, this is just whatever. But being accused of laundering money,
right,
might not be the Lord's.
No. And then we flash back to a hot mic moment at the party. Ryan was talking to Terry, and he said it was all over the news. Ryan said, these are my friends. I'm not going to rat them out. Terry said, are you going to go to jail? And he said, I might. And he was talking to Terry about Matt.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. After that whole thing, they played it, just kind of the audio.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. I thought that was very interesting. And then we see Tamra meets up with Emily, Heather, and Alexis, and she shows up with her stupid FBI hat. And they're talking about what went wrong with Ryan. And Emily's like, well, $16 million into his account, and he didn't know about it. So then Gina goes over to Katie's house, and they're talking about this. And Katie said Matt was at the party. That is why her husband was standing over by the door. Now, I thought that was interesting because Matt knew about this whole situation. Her husband, Matt, that the other Matt was there. So that's why when Shannon went to the door, Matt was standing there because he had said to Katie, the FBI can come in at any time and raid this place.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So I must have zoned out at this point or something.
Yeah. Yep. He said the feds could come at any time. So that's why he didn't want to be in that party. He was on high alert, and he was standing near the doorway because he knew the whole situation.
Right.
So then we see Jen goes over to Katie's house, and she and Gina, they're all there. The three of them are there, and Jenn is visibly upset, and she's like, I didn't even know what to do. She's like, she's crying. She's like, she just left, really. She just left the house. Like when it all came out, she didn't know where to go or what to do, which I get. Like, what do you do when that news comes out? Like, she's like,
no, I had to hop in the car and go buy a pack of cigarettes. That's what I would do.
Yeah. She feels like she blew up her whole life. Like she,
yeah, for sure.
She was married, right? She was married. She, basically left her husband for Ryan. And I mean, Ryan's been good to her, but we now know that maybe he wasn't completely honest with her.
Yeah.
which is sad. And I feel for her. I feel for her because I don't want her to get screwed. I think she's a very kind woman. I think that she just was trying to find happiness and she didn't have it in her marriage. And,
Right.
this guy Ryan comes around and, he's giving her a lot of attention and telling her how beautiful she is and making her feel like a princess. And, you know, five kids later and many years later, it feels good to be wanted,
Yeah, of course, of course.
I just feel for her at this point. So then we see at the end that Ryan was never accused or charged of any wrongdoing and received full use immunity. His friend Matt Boyer pled guilty and is facing up to 18 years in federal prison. And Jenn and Ryan's wedding is planned for 2025.
So say this, say this hypothetically, say
Mhm.
this baseball player was the one doing it. This guy Matt's going to take the fall for it too,
Well,
right?
listen, no, Matt's not taking the fall for it. Matt was guilty
But what was he guilty of?
of being the bookie and laundering the money.
But I thought bookies were illegal in Vegas. How did he
Yeah.
launder money?
Yeah, no, he was laundering the money through the casino and supposedly he was using Ryan's address. The interpreter took the fall for the baseball player. Matt is accused of the laundering of the money. The interpreter's going to jail too.
Yeah, because supposedly he stole money from the baseball player.
Right.
Allegedly.
Right.
So I didn't know there was another charge on top of
It's laundering. It was
stolen
money laundering.
money from the baseball player.
Yes, he was charged with laundering money through the casinos.
Okay.
So
But Ryan's name was somewhere.
his name was on the accounts, I think. I think he was running it through Ryan's accounts. And supposedly his mail was going to Ryan's house.
Pretty amazing. He got immunity, huh?
Well, he must have had a lot of information. But now I wonder what he's going to do for a living since that's all dried up.
Yeah.
Right? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to the reunion.
Me too.
I'm a little sad that Katie did not get to go meet her birth mother yet. I would have thought that we could have seen that, but maybe she's holding out for another season.
I'm thinking that she's holding out to see if she gets cast again and so she could do it on camera.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. She's holding out for a second season.
Yeah.
For herself.
Do you hear all these sirens?
I do. I wonder what's going on. Do you know?
I don't know. I'm just checking my kids' Life 360 though to make sure they're somewhere they should be and told me they were going to be, and they both are.
Okay, perfect. Thank goodness for technology.
Yeah, man. But I did think that Gina was being a good friend to Jenn. Like, I think she was giving it to her straight at Katie's house, but she was being a good friend.
No, I agree. And listen, she's been through a divorce. So, she's going through it right now still with Travis. So she knows about, one of the things that Jenn said to, Ryan when he was apologizing, she's like, this is going to be a bloodbath for me. Like, these women have already been coming for me. And now they have this.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care what your friends say. And I get that, but still she's going to be the one going through it. You may not care, but
yeah, I'm glad that he got immunity. I'm glad that he's, this will be behind them going into next season. So Tamra can shut the F up. Hopefully she won't even be there.
That would be great. That would be great. All right. So I think that's it, unless you have anything else to add.
Nope.
Okay. Thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you feel like there's been more